Good morning, everyone. Great seeing all of you here this morning. Thank you for joining us in Dallas. Last year, I think it was September, October, we had an AppZen on Tour event in Chicago, which many of you were. And we heard you loud and clear, you wanted more of these events. So from having 2 events last year, this year we are having 5. We had one last week in Frankfurt. This is in Dallas. We are going to have, again, 3 more events later in the year. And this is all about getting our community of customers together, helping us build better products, helping you use AI into your own organizations, right? So today, what I thought was to talk about Gen AI in a different way. Not a day goes by when you don't hear about generative AI, right? It's all in the media, it's in the news. Probably your CEO, your CFOs, they are talking about it. And when at AppZen, having worked with AI, building AI models, building AI applications for more than 10 years now, we definitely have a very credible perspective, which is based on really real-life experiences on how do you figure this out. Is this hype? Is this really ROI? Is there value in it? And what does this mean for all of us as we work in the workforce? And that's what we're going to try to answer in this next 20 minutes that I have. I hope you find it interesting. So when we started AppZen 10 years ago, and for many years before this, AI was largely about intelligence in terms of predictions, making accurate predictions, detecting anomalies, and that's how AppZen product started as well. And today, it is more about generative AI. So I thought that let me first put a slide together about how we got from that technology transformation from AI that was doing more of predictions to what it is today. And instead of me trying to research it and put it all together, I thought, let's not ask the tool which has created all this hype, ChatGPT, right? So I did that. But the reason why this is so important in terms of the questions that everybody is asking is, one, what is my place in this workforce if this AI is going to do all this stuff? And the second is the numbers that are being put together. This the case which research paper which I am listed out here from McKinsey, right? It talks about that they have looked at about 63 use cases of AI, and they say, according to their research, it's going to add about $2.6 trillion to about $4.4 trillion in the economy every year, which is as big as adding a new country like the United Kingdom or Germany, right? So there's definitely a lot of money at stake out here. So it's important we know how do we exist in this ecosystem of what's going on around it. So first, let's start with ChatGPT. I asked ChatGPT, hey, help me describe this technology evolution from the time we were doing largely predictions and anomaly detection to today's generative AI. And as you can see, it freaking did a pretty good job. It went through its vast knowledge base. It looked at facts which were relevant to this. It listed it out sequentially and summarized it for me. Now, assuming that everything out here is factual, I think I would have taken hours to do the same kind of research, Googling it, figuring out, applying my knowledge about the industry, about the technology to say what is relevant, what would be beneficial for this audience, and then put it all together. Right? So this was definitely useful. It saved me a bunch of time, which I thought was really important. Now, I'm not going to read any of this. If you guys are really interested, you know what to do. Go and ask ChatGPT, right? But the reason why this is so important is because what you're seeing here is it is doing some of the work which really requires our intelligence, our context, the years of training that we have got, information that we have got, applying it together and creating something that is useful. And that's what these large language models, as we call them, which generate information, generate work, this is all the hype is all about. Now, having done this, I thought, I got this information. This is not the information that I want to give it to. It's not good enough for this presentation. I actually need a slide, right? Slides are the one that everybody wants. So I said, hey, let me take this a bit further. Let me go ahead. And this time, I used a Microsoft Copilot. Every organization nowadays uses that. And Microsoft Copilot has an image generator called DALL-E 3. It's a large language model that creates images. So I really wanted a slide, an image, which I can use in this presentation, which would describe this journey of technology journey from the time AI was largely doing predictive intelligence, predictions and anomaly detection to what it is today, right? Generative AI. So I said, let's ask DALL-E 3 to do that, Microsoft Copilot to do that, right? And figure it did it. Now, just looking at this image, right, it felt really good. It seems like some kind of an evolution. It may be inspired by some biblical characters, landscapes, whatever it is, but it has some kind of a graph, the kind of graphs charts that we all like, starting from the bottom left, going to the top right, right? Those are the charts that we all look at. There's got some person on the top right. He's on his laptop. He looks like in a state of Zen, right? So all the right stuff. And then it's got some milestones in between, right? And so a very legitimate picture, which I thought that, man, this is a good slide. I could use it. This picture for the slide is perfect, right? I don't have to ask my marketing folks about it. But then I kind of looked at it closely. What exactly is this? And that's when I noticed that the stuff out here, what it was writing in those milestones, didn't mean anything. It was all gibberish. It has just made up words talking about this technology evolution. And just about a few slides ago, you saw that when it was asked to do that in text, it really did a pretty decent job. But when I pushed it even further, it got it wrong. But not only did it get it wrong, it didn't tell me about it, that it was wrong. And that's the problem with these generative AI, large language models. They make up stuff. They hallucinate. And they don't tell you about it. Right? So if this is the problem with generative AI, and we actually want to use it in our work every day, how are you going to trust it? How it is going to help us in finance? Because with technology, our threshold for accepting errors is very low. Research tells us that it's about half of what you would accept an error from one of our colleagues, right? Because we all make errors, we all make mistakes, but not with technology. No, we cannot accept that. And with finance, it's even worse. Because with finance tasks, we got to be 100% accurate. If we are not, we all will be in trouble, our companies will be in trouble, right? So we got to do something about it. This is an amazing technology. This is a technology that is going to be transformational. We can use it, and at AppZen, we thought that we can solve this problem. So what we did about it? We took our years of experience building models. Our team out here has been working on this for 10+ years, building AI models. And we said that we are not going to build AI models that are going to answer any questions about how to solve the world's hunger now. But we are going to get AI models that are going to be 100% accurate. We are calling them graph transformer models. And in a way that they're also going to meet the needs of what your IT, your governance, your security requires, right? Because you all as customers want to make sure your data is private, you're secure, and our AI models are 100% accurate. And that's what we did. Just having AI and having 100% accurate AI is not enough. Because the way generative AI is relayed to us, the way we are supposed to interact with it, is not really the way we work. We don't work through chatbots and we don't work through copilots. That's not how we do our work, right? So it has to be in a way where we can actually use it as a part of our workflows, as a part of our processes. And that's why we built a platform where we can incorporate these AI models into your daily process, into your daily finance process. And that's what the Mastermind platform is all about. The Mastermind platform is the only purpose-built AI platform, process automation platform, that can take those decisions based on AI models and automate a process. Let me explain you how. You're probably all familiar with this book out there, Standard Operating Procedure, right? That's how we operate our team. That's how we work. And the reason we have that is our process, every process, requires a series of steps. And those steps require some people, humans, having to look at data, understand, apply their knowledge, and then take some decisions. And the reason why we take all this time to document these processes into these SOPs is because we want this process to stay consistent. If somebody leaves, a new person joins, we hope that they'll read through it, follow the instructions, and we'll get exactly the same outcome, the same compliant outcome that we're looking for. But let's unpack this. What really is in this SOP? So we have taken a real SOP out here from which talks about an AP team. And in this SOP, what is documented is that, hey, when you get an invoice from a customer, read the invoice, look at the PO, look at all the PO lines, read the descriptions, and make sure you match it to the right PO line, right? And then it also asks the AP operator to do a series of steps. Hey, check the amounts, make sure they are all correct. And if everything works out, then go and process it, let it go ahead. If it doesn't, you got to send it back to the supplier. Right? So there's a series of steps to be done in an SOP, and when you think about it, if you try to unpack it again, you are really doing things around checking the invoice. You are doing things which require human intelligence. That means reading the work, reading the description on the invoice, and then deciding, doing all those checks, the amount checks and all that stuff, and then deciding what is to be done. So if you could compress all that human decision-making accurately through technology, through an AI model, this could be a very compressed 4-step process. Today, with any technology, you cannot automate an SOP, and that's why with our Mastermind platform, we are able to automate those human decision-making for the first time ever through a Mastermind platform. And that's how we make these processes completely automated. Now, it doesn't mean that every process, 100% of the time, is going to be automated. No. And does it mean that the AI is always going to get it right? No. But the key important thing out here is, if the AI doesn't get it right, it's going to say, hey, I don't think I'm right. Please hand it over to a person. Let them look at it and take a decision, which is what you want. You want 100% accuracy. You want 100% predictability in what is happening out here, and get to that automation of the process that you're trying to do. And this is what we think about as we start using generative AI into our processes. We think about, with AppZen, with the accurate AI models, with the power of an automation platform that is purpose-built for this, the Mastermind AI platform, we are able to automate these processes like you could never before. And what it does, it gives your team hundreds of hours back to do something more strategic, more important, and to grow your team. Many of you are probably familiar with the Team Insights feature in our expense audit product. A quick recap, it's kind of analytics. It sends an email to managers. It tells them analytics and dashboards about how is your team doing, how much did they spend, where the problems were, and then it also links it not only in email, but to a dashboard which is secured by every manager so that they can look at the performance of the team. Great. We said, why couldn't we take this a step further? Who has time today to look at dashboards and analytics, right? How about I analyze all that information and using generative AI, explain to them exactly what they're supposed to do? So if you look at that AppZen coach out there, that's our Zen LM model at work. It is analyzing it and exactly telling the manager, hey, in this case, all your 10 employees, everyone is doing good, except this one person. She is consistently upgrading her hotels, right? You need to go and talk to her. So imagine what this means, a very useful case for the manager, not having to analyze through those dashboards, but being told by the finance team on how they can manage their team better, what kind of conversations they can have with their team. That's coming in. You're going to hear about it pretty soon. Then AppZen Coach for the process. What does this do? You know, we have always kind of struggled with our existing models, expense audit. Everybody says we have this policy, we don't want this to happen, we don't want upgrades to happen, right? But in reality, it never says what your policy does. So we put a model which goes and looks at what you say, versus what you do. You say, I don't like this, my policy doesn't allow it, but do you actually follow through? And then it starts giving recommendations on what you could be doing. There are only two outcomes, right? You can either change your policy because you're not really following up on it and save everyone a lot of time. Or second thing, if you want to keep it as it is, you could automate the task out of it, which could be overriding and approving that expense or rejecting that expense. You could use Mastermind just to automate that. And we have explained what exactly you could do in really simple language so that you can take action. Third, AppZen Inbox. Here, our Zen LM models are doing multiple things. First, they are plugging into your Microsoft Outlook or your Gmail, whatever you use. They're looking at every email. They're reading every email. Then they're classifying every email. They're categorizing it. Hey, it's a new invoice. It's a spam. It's just a promotion from my vendor. It's a statement. It's a tax. Or it's an inquiry. Somebody's asking about the status of an invoice. When are they going to get paid? And then it goes a step further. It writes the reply for them so that you can use it and send it out. So immediately saving you 50, 60% of the time that you're spending on processing all this information. So you've looked at a number of use cases on how we are doing this, how AI is helping you being more efficient, and that's what the results are. In every case, there's a 60, 70% improvement in efficiency, improvement in productivity, and that's where the real ROI is. It's not hype, it's money saved, and money saved means you're going to use more and more of it. So that brings us back to the first question. How does this impact you? If AI is going to do a lot of my work, a lot of my team's work, how do I fit into this workforce? How does my work look like? Because if there's real money involved, there's savings involved, more and more of your companies, which is what your CEOs and CFOs are asking you, they're going to invest more money into this automation. So the answer is, while this is true, this is going to be a part of the workforce. The way you can do it is embrace it. Think of this AI team member as somebody who has joined your team to improve its efficiency, give you more bandwidth, improve your compliance, improve your productivity. And when you start thinking of it that way, it's a new member of your team. And we calling it an AppZen AI digital worker. The right kind of AI is a digital worker which is joining your team. Think of it this way. It's a new worker. They're already trained. That's how you would hire a junior person in your team, right? They're already trained, and they're starting up, but they know little about your company. They're going to learn as they do more and more work. If they don't understand something, they're going to ask you. They're going to learn from it. That's what a good employee does. And they're going to get better. That's what this AI digital worker does. But the benefit is they're going to work 24/7, and they're going to scale, and they're not going to take any holidays. So this is how the future looks like. Your teams are going to be composed of people and workers and AI digital workers. And at AppZen, we are focused in this mission to provide the platform, the models, and the outcomes that you're looking for through these AI digital workers. Guys, this is really probably the most profound change we are having in the workforce in decades. And we are super excited to having all of you as a part of this journey. We have a lot of sessions today set up. We are going to go into many of these topics in deeper detail on how we could use it, how we could learn from it. So have a great time today, and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.